What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my kitchen. Halloween is fast approaching, and you know what that means. It's scary season, it's here. We love a little fright, a little bump in the night, you know what I mean? So tonight we are gonna be trying to make pumpkin pie. Now, baking is not something that is normally in my repertoire of skill sets. Basically to say, I really haven't done a whole lot of it, period. So I'm gonna try my very best tonight to not completely burn down my kitchen. And if it all goes wrong, which I fully expect it to actually go completely wrong, I have a couple of cocktail recipes that will brighten our spirits. So without any further ado, let's dive right in and get started. Okay, the first thing we are gonna do is we are gonna get our pumpkin pie filling made. So we've got our ingredients laid out here, and we're already running into some fun problems. So first things first, we need our pumpkin puree. We have a 15-ounce can here. I do have a second can because, well, you'll find out later. So we have a second can. And then we're gonna need these 3 eggs, but we're gonna whip them and beat them up here real quick. Beat them up, watch out, catch these hands. Then we have 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 cup of our heavy whipping cream here as well. 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, which it does call for light brown sugar. I just have dark brown sugar, so that's what we're working with. I don't know if it makes a difference. I don't really bake that often. Now we also need a cup of half and half, but silly me, I forgot to buy half and half. So shout out to my apartment for having half and half creamer down the hallway. I got a big cup of it. I don't know how many of these we're gonna need. Half cup, 1 cup? 1 cup, oh my goodness. Okay, well, we're just gonna start and just see where we get to. I don't know. It's fine, this is fine, I'm fine, we're fine. This is going great. I planned this. This is 100% planned, not me panicking. I didn't have a panic attack about this. What are you talking about? Me either. Good job. Way for us to not panic. I'm so proud of you. None of us panicked. I may not have grabbed enough. This could be a problem. We are barely at half a cup, and I had a whole reusable coffee cups worth of these that I grabbed. So yeah, that's half a cup there, and I have 1 left. Oopsies. I think I need to go get more. Hang tight. I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, we're back. I've got more. Let's keep going. Hopefully we can actually get to a full cup here soon. This is definitely doing it the hard way. Okay, now that I have made an absolute disaster of this so far already, we're off to a wonderful start. We now need to combine all this into a giant bowl here and get our stuff going, but just kidding, we need to not do the bowl first. We need to whip up these eggs. I already forgot that. Let's get these guys whisked up here. Whisked. You ever say a word and it just starts sounding wrong? Whisked. I whisked it. I whisked it away. I whisked it. I would whisk everything for some pumpkin pie. Ooh, tiny whisk, tiny whisk, tiny whisk. Oh, tiny whisk, you're a tiny whisk. Please, tiny whisk up my eggs. Okay, now with those being well beaten, now we can start adding stuff to our big bowl here. Okay, first things first, we should probably open up our pumpkin and get that added in here. And slurp. And now, in no particular order, let's add our other wets in here. I think if we add our wets and then kind of combine everything, start whisking as we get our wets in here. Now we're gonna break out the big mixer in a second, because that's gonna do a lot better job with all of our stuff than just my little tiny whisk in my hand will. So it can just combine everything a little bit better than I can. But we can at least get things started. Get the party going, you know, little tiny whisk party to start. Let's get our cinnamon. Sounds like a Pokemon. Cinnamon, I choose you. What would cinnamon evolve into? Drop your comments below of what cinnamon's evolution track would be. Let me know. And then also what type of, I guess that's a stupid question. Cinnamon would be a plant type because they're a tree originally. Ooh, a cinnamon turns into a tree. Ooh, okay. Cinnamon turns from, powder. So cinnamon starts as like a powder. Kind of a useless Pokemon, right? So cinnamon evolves from powder into, hang on, wait for it. Cinnamon powder evolves into a stick, and then your final evolution is a tree. Now, does it have any attacks? Not really. I don't know. What attacks would it be? I feel like it wouldn't have good attacks. Okay, maybe this is just a really crappy Pokemon. Let's add our other seasonings, flavorings. flavorinos on in there. Keep on whisking. Get that whisking arm. And here's where I think we might want to get the big guns out and grab my hand mixer. One, I want to use my hand mixer. I've never gotten to use my hand mixer. Also, we have a lot of sugar to add here, so I think we should probably be doing the hand mixer from this point onwards. So, thank you, Tiny Whisk. We'll set you aside. Hand mixer. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with fire. Well, we're not. We're mixing. You know what I mean. Ah! So remember, practice good safety skills. Make sure that your mixer is off before you plug it in. Kind of shuffle that in there. Okay, with our pumpkin mix ready to go, let's set this aside. There are two ways that we could go about doing our pie crust. Now, the easy one is you buy something like this. It's a pre-made pie crust that you simply roll out and you're done. Bada boom, bada bing. Me, I'm difficult, which we already knew that. So, I'm gonna try and make my own pie crust. Again, having never done this before, ever in my life. So we're gonna need some flour, we're gonna need some Crisco, we're gonna need some ice cold water, and we're gonna need some salt. And we want 2 cups of this bad boy. Yeah, it looks like 1. And yeah, that's roughly 2. And that's a giant mess I'm making. Now we need 3/4 of a cup of well-chilled Crisco. Now, I forgot to chill this, so I tossed it in the freezer right before I started filming today. 3/4 of a cup right there. Slice and dice. No clue what I'm gonna use the rest of this for. So I'm gonna be doing a giveaway for the rest of the Crisco. So if you wanna win the Crisco, put down what your name for the Crisco evolution Pokemon would be named. Drop that in the comments for me below, and I will pick somebody and send the Crisco to you. We now need to add 1 teaspoon of salt, but as we learned in the last episode, I'm silly and still haven't bought like actual salt. I just have a grinder of sea salt. So, one moment, I need to sit here and grind out an entire teaspoon of salt because I'm dumb. Okay, that may be roughly a teaspoon. We're gonna find out. Yep, eyeball drywall ballpark, that looks good enough. Ballparking and baking's fine, right? You don't need to be exact. Final thing we need to add to this mixture is 4 to 8 tablespoons of ice cold water. Why? I don't really know that answer. Great question. Glad you're asking questions. Please raise your hand next time, though. It's kind of just rude to just spout out the question, but a good question nonetheless. So, I don't know why, I don't know how many. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think let's start with 4. We'll keep mixing. You know what? No, 5. We're gonna go 5. There, 5. We'll start mixing and we'll just see how incorporated this gets. I think the ice is basically to make it doughy because we're making dough. So let's just start mixing and we'll just see where we end up. I don't think our trusty tiny whisk is gonna work for this one, so let's grab our big whisk, and Crisco is immediately sticking to all of this. Come on, big whisk. Use that big whisking power, that big whisking energy. This is where I would love to have a stand mixer. Because yeah, that would probably make my life a lot easier. But you know what? We have our hand mixer, which we'll probably jump to. This is looking very, very dry. So let's go with a few more. 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've done an excellent job of just caking it all onto this and not actually misking a damn thing. Those are clumped up. Okay, I think this is kind of working a little bit here. Okay, it's actually kind of sticky. I think, do we just need to like pull this out and like knead it by hand now? I think that's probably what we do, right? Yeah, that's doughy. That's a dough ball. You silly dough ball. That's a dough ball. Sick, okay. Whatever you're working with though, make sure you lightly flour your workspace so that way your dough does not stick to your workspace, because yeah, you don't want a doughy, sticky workspace. That's approximately pie crusty. Well, not right now. We're working. We're working our dough. We're working it. Okay, that looks approximately like pie crust. Obviously, we need to roll this out. You know what I don't own? A rolling pin. So let's figure out what we can use as a rolling pin substitute, because I don't have one. Smack it a dough. Okay, what I do have is a bottle of Campari, and this is roughly rolling pin shaped, right? That seems like it'll work. I don't know if I should flour my Campari. We're gonna flour our Campari. All right. Oh yeah, see, that's working great. Who needs a rolling pin? Just have an alcohol bottle on hand, and you'll be golden. You'll be golden, baby. Okay, that actually is roughly pie shaped. I don't think that's thin enough. It feels rather thick, and I don't think this is quite where we want it to be. But that is roughly pie crust. I'm shocked because it actually seems to be working. I did not plan for success with this, so I'm just as shocked as you are. This seems to be working out quite well. All right, we have our pie pan here, and this is roughly big enough. So I think this is working out pretty good. So here comes the next fun step. We need to try to transfer this guy without totally destroying it. Can I do this? Ooh, pro move, pro strategy. Oh, I'm a genius. I'm a mad, crazy scientist of a genius. Maybe. Oh, look at that. I'm a mad genius. So I bought those other pie crusts, but honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. So here's my thought, guys. We're going to just use my pie crust and just see how this turns out. I do have the other two in case this completely is utterly bad, and I kind of expected it to be, but honestly, it's not that bad. So I'm tempted to just keep going with this pie crust, and we'll just see how my pie turns out. Fully my pie crust from scratch, I think that feels better. Normally you would trim this to fit if it's not already, because this will shrink up some. Now, one tip that I have learned, shout out to my mom for teaching me this, is you want to take your hand basically, right? So you kind of want to do like spreaded fingers like this, and you kind of like pinch this up like this, if it makes sense, right? And so you kind of do that like the whole way around, obviously if your dough is, you know, not breaking and falling apart like mine. Also, this looked way better on the video she showed me, but that's moms and grandmas and people who are just like insanely good at baking. They just make this stuff look so much easier than it is, and so much fancier and nicer. Mine is gonna look horrendous, I feel, but you know what? It just is what it is. Basically, you just take your little finger and you put it in there, and you kind of like pinch fold this up a little bit. Now, my dough has some pretty inconsistent thickness, but you know what? It's fine. Baking's not a precision art. It's fine. We're totally fine. Supposedly what this does is gives you perfect pie crust every time. This is my first time ever making a pie crust, so I have doubts. But that is roughly our pie crust. Oh my god. Okay, this is going great. Now our next step is something called par baking. Basically what it means is you're gonna be baking before you bake. Makes sense, right? That's empty. So we want to take our parchment paper here, and we want to lay this inside of our crust here somehow. Get in there, you. Basically what par baking is we are going to pre-bake our crust. So with wetter pies that are like more liquidy type of pies, we want to pre-bake our dough a little bit. Now, you can get actual pie weights. You can use, I've seen people using pennies, something heavy that's oven safe that you can put in here that can help add some weight here. And basically that's just to help keep the dough from rising. Now I also forgot a step, because of course I did. So let's take this back out. We need to take our fork, first of all, and we need to poke some holes kind of in the bottom of the pie pan here. And that will help release some of the pressure and the steam and air as well, so this bottom part doesn't rise too much. We don't want it to rise too much because then it'll just puff up, and then where's all of our filling go, you know? Now we can get this in here. One of the things that I read that you could use if you don't have pie weights, because of course I do not, like I said, pennies, something heavy that's oven safe. I can't really think of a ton that I have that's heavy that's oven safe, but I did see a suggestion online of using rice. And I do have plenty of jasmine rice. So we're just gonna Yeah, roughly like that. I don't know how much rice we need. I just put a nice, healthy, generous portion on the bottom there, and we're gonna go with that. So, yeah, okay. We're doing great. All right, now this is gonna go into a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. So let's get this sucker tossed in here, and then we will figure it out. All right, while that is pre-baking, we made one hell of a mess here, didn't we? Good Lord. So the second can was in case I wanted to do a second pie with the pre-made stuff, which is a lot easier, and I highly recommend you do that because it makes it like 5 steps to do. Me, I prefer the difficult method. But that just means I have another can of pumpkin puree. So shout out how tall you think I am in the comments, and I'll do another giveaway for this can of pumpkin puree. Whoever's farthest off wins. Okay, there is our somewhat pre-baked pie crust. We need to get our rice out of the way. Don't touch this. This is going to be insanely hot. I don't really know where to put this. I did not think this through. Next step is we want to add our filling, pour our filling in here, and then we're going to bake this entire thing for an hour. So let's get our filling added. All right, give it one courtesy whipping up here, and then I think we just pour this on right in here. There we go. Smells very cinnamony. All right, that is one soupy mess. Yeah, baby. All right, I think that this is ready to go into our oven. So now we're gonna bake this in the same 350-degree oven for approximately 1 hour. Basically, we're looking for the center to kind of rise up a little bit, see if it firms up a little bit as well. So we're gonna start with an hour, we'll check it in an hour, and we will figure out if it needs to go longer, shorter, whatever. Okay, this is actually looking like a pie. Did I do this right? Did I do something right? So the way we want to check to make sure that this is actually done, it's been in there for an hour now at 350 degrees. Take a knife or a toothpick, I'm gonna go for a knife, stick it in the center, and if it comes out with like nothing really on it, or there's like a little bit of stuff on it, it's pretty much done. And it's okay if you have cracks and stuff on the surface. That's gonna happen with pumpkin pies. So let's see if we pass the knife test. Oh, that came out pretty damn clean. All right, I think we're done. Okay, so, well, we're not done. There's a lot more to do. So now that our pie is done being baked, we do not eat it hot. So as this cools, it will firm up and get that nice texture that we know and love from pumpkin pie. So this is gonna sit on the counter now for about 3 to 4 hours is kind of the magic number. And then I'm probably gonna toss it in the fridge for a little bit too, let it firm up and get a little bit cool. So that's kind of the game plan. So for now, we're just gonna walk away and let this cool. I'm gonna go practice my magic. I'll be back. Alrighty friends, our pie has been cooling. It sat on the counter for like 3 or 4 hours, and then it's been in the fridge for quite a while as well. Let's take a look and see how it's doing. I don't know what that spot there is. I guess we'll figure it out. But yeah, check us out. Pie turned out pretty good. That's a pumpkin pie. I made a pumpkin pie. I did not think that this was possible, honestly. Didn't know that I was capable of such a thing. But yeah, there is our pumpkin pie. I'm pretty stoked about this. For now though, we are gonna set this aside because we're not quite done yet. You can't have just like plain pumpkin pie, right? Let's set this aside over here on the stove. The next thing that we need to make is some whipped cream. Now, I have never made homemade whipped cream before, but I think I've got this. So we're gonna need heavy whipping cream, of course. We're going to need some confectionery sugar, or otherwise known as powdered sugar. We're gonna need something to help stabilize it. So I just learned that something called cream of tartar can help to stabilize it and make your whipped cream last a little bit longer when it's homemade. So we're gonna try that. And then I thought I had this really nice bottle of vanilla extract, and I cannot find it anywhere. Don't know where it's at. So we're gonna try using honey instead as a little bit of a sweetener here. So we're gonna use that instead. One pro tip, chill your bowl and chill your whiskers. If you're a cat, don't chill your whiskers. That probably would feel weird. But chill your little whiskers, chill your bowl. The more stuff you chill, the better this will help. Now I put mine in the freezer. I don't know if that's too chill. Maybe I'm too relaxed. I'm too chill, man. Let's get going here. First things first, we need 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, and I don't know if I'm gonna have enough heavy whipping cream here. Hopefully I have enough. We're about to find out because I don't really know if I have enough. There's 1. And come on, baby, let's get to 2. You know what? That's close enough. That is close enough to 2. That is just about 2. And you know me, eyeball drywall. That's close enough, right? Okay. Now is when we want to put our little whisker guys back into our mixer. And now you want to mix this. This is the real trick to homemade whipped cream. You have to be very careful when you mix. If you overmix, you get butter, which, you know, is nice, but not really what we're after. So you want to make sure you're doing this nice and easy. Don't be afraid to under-whip it. You can always whip more. You can't unwhip it. Whip it good. Whip it real good. Don't go full Devo. If you go full Devo, you've gone too far. Eventually you want this to start forming little peaks, and that's kind of how you know it looks like whipped cream, right? You know it's whipped cream because, you know, the way it is. Before we get too thick here, we want to measure out our other ingredients so we have those ready to go, because as soon as it starts to thicken up a little bit, that's when we want to start mixing everything else in. So let me grab a little bowl. We don't need a lot of this cream of tartar. We just want a 1/4 teaspoon for this. And that is about a 1/4 teaspoon. Drop that into our little bowl. Perfect. We need a 1/3 cup of our powdered sugar here. That is, yeah, about a 1/3 cup. We'll just dump that in the same bowl because it's all dried stuff, can go in the same thing. And then our honey we will wait and we'll do once this is kind of starting to thicken up a little bit. But let's keep whipping, and then as it starts to get thicken up a little bit, I will add the dries. So I feel like this really isn't thickening up a whole lot. I have these little like beater things on here. Let me grab the whisk attachment and let's see if that does a little bit better job of kind of making this all go together here. And yes, great job noticing. My whisk attachment is the same as my tiny whisk. You get 5 points. Oh yeah, there's a point system. Did I not mention that? Okay, I think this is in a place where it's starting to firm up a little bit. That definitely looks a little bit thicker after using our whisk attachment. So we're gonna start slowly mixing in our dry ingredients here, and hopefully this all comes together. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Okay, this is actually starting to look like homemade whipped cream, but let's get our honey in here and get that going as well. We want 1 teaspoon of this honey. Is my honey not open? I think my honey's gone bad. It's like way congealed. It says best by December of next year, but that's very hard honey. Let's not use that. Do I have other honey? You know what? It looks like I don't have anything else to use, so we're gonna skip that part entirely, because screw it, right? All right, let's keep whipping here. Okay, we're starting to get little peaks. I think I've got this. I think we're getting there. Let's take our handy little spatula. Let's give this a taste. I just made homemade whipped cream! Oh my god, that's delicious. I mean, it's whipped cream. What the hell did I think I was gonna taste like? That tastes great, and we got little peaks in there. Oh yeah. Oh, that's nice and peaky. Oh, hell yes. Okay, I'm so excited. Oh god, that just went everywhere. Oh no, oh no. Now, I'm not gonna serve this quite yet either. I'm gonna put this in the fridge as well, because we got more to make. So you're sitting there on your porch, you've had a hard day of tricking, treating, throwing eggs at cars, TPing houses, you know, just the normal Halloween stuff. And now you're ready, you're sitting there with your pumpkin pie and you're like, man, something's missing. What am I missing here? I've had so much joy of terrorizing children in my day. What can I add to this to just make it perfect? Well, I have the solution for you. Actually, I have 2 solutions for you. One is called the Moontini and the other one is called the Gravedigger. Let's start with the Moontini. So move our ingredients out of the way here and let's get diving into this. Our Moontini to start calls for 2 ounces of pineapple juice. So let's see if we can measure out 2 ounces here. Move our trusty, dusty cup aside. It's not dusty, I washed it, don't worry. That's roughly 2 ounces. Don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of this pineapple juice. Guess I'll drink it. We need about 1 ounce of vodka. This is 50 milliliters, is about like 1.7 ounces. So you can get away with these little bad guys here. But we need about 1 of these, so come on, Mr. Svedka. You can use whatever vodka you want. Doesn't have to be Svedka. 2 shots of vodka. That's a little more than 1. This is gonna be strong. We need 1/2 ounce of lime juice. Now, I don't know how much juice a single lime yields, so we're gonna just figure that one out. Just crack my knuckles in my hand. That seemed like it was maybe 1/2 ounce. We'll go with that. Don't forget, cocktail making is a very precise science. Now, apparently I'm really bad at shopping because club soda, which you need for this, Didn't even make it onto my shopping list. So in its place, I have some Sprite, which we're gonna use for the Gravedigger here in a moment, but screw it, we'll use some Sprite instead, you know? It says it's for topping, so I don't know. We'll just go 2 ounces. Why not? That looks about right. Now here comes the fun part. You're supposed to add charcoal to this to help give it like a nice dark black color. I couldn't find like edible charcoal, like cooking charcoal, but I did find food coloring, and that's kind of the same thing, right? And this one actually has color like directions on the back to where it can tell you like combine these colors in this many drops to get this color. So I'm gonna go for purple, which means 3 reds and 2 blues. Let's go for 1, 2, 3 reds. I actually feel like a witch doing this now. I'm adding my little potion ingredients. 2 blue. That was 3 blue, but hey, you know what? It's fine. And now we're gonna, oh, look at that, oh God. I forgot this had Sprite in it. That immediately blew up. Look at the color change though, like, holy crap. That was immediate. Shaken, not stirred. Do your best Sean Connery impression in the comments, and the winner, whoever does the best one, will get this half of a lime. So, new giveaway in the comments. Now that I've continued to make a colossal mess here, that is very green, it's not very purple. Did I use green instead of blue? I might have used green instead of blue. Let's just add more blue. Make it blue. There's a nice dark color. Who needs charcoal? What are you talking about? All right, let's pull up our glass here, pour this into this bad boy. Oh yeah, that is a nice dark black, just delicious looking drink. Okay, let's give this a little taste test here. This is the Moon Teeny. Cheers. You know, it's not half bad. It's very pineapple-y. I feel like I can't really taste the vodka, which can be a very dangerous thing, which is why we're gonna add more. Yeah, that's actually not half bad. That's pretty good. Okay, cool. Our first drink, let's set this aside as well. Drink number 2 is an interesting concoction as well. It is called the Gravedigger. Now, for this, we actually need the Sprite that we used in the last one instead of club soda. We need cran grape juice, and we need Bacardi rum. Optionally, you can get some decorative sugars. I went for orange, because we're gonna decorate the rim of this here glass. For this one, we start off much the same. We're gonna take our little 50 milliliter bottle of Bacardi rum. It says it calls for 1.5 ounces. We're just gonna do the whole thing. It's again about 1.7 in one of these little guys. So let's just pour the whole thing in there. There we go. Now we need 3 ounces of our cran grapes. Do this without spilling. All right, there's our 3 ounces of our cran grape. Now you can also do this one with the food coloring as well to help it kind of get that nice dark color that we like. So let's do some blues in there and a little bit of red, just kind of even it all out, you know? And let's shake this time before we add the Sprite, so that we don't have the nice carbonation ruining the whole thing. Oh yeah, there's a nice dark bluish color. We'll stick with that. Sprite to top it. And now we want to get our rim going here. So let's slice a garnish for our other drink. Nice little lime wheel for our other drink there. We're gonna take half a lime and just kind of run it around the edge of the glass here. Just get some juice on the outside, help make this nice and sticky. Now comes the really fun part. We gotta make a mess. Is this the right way to do this? Absolutely not. Am I gonna do it this way? You bet your ass I am. Easiest way I could think of. Boom. Much like glitter, decorative sugar goes kind of everywhere. Oh, look at that color. That is crazy looking. All right, that is a pretty cool looking drink if I do say so myself. But here's the real test. How does our Gravedigger taste? Looks real nice. Let's give it a taste. Ooh, ooh. That's really interesting. I've never thought to combine rum with cran grape juice, but that is really interesting. I feel like I could dilute it a little bit more with some more Sprite. Cocktails are fun because you can kind of really do your own mixture. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, just inspiration. But yeah, this is actually pretty delicious, I'm not gonna lie. It is finally the time we have all been waiting for. Let's cut into our pumpkin pie here, get ourselves a slice, and finally taste this to see if I need to go to the emergency room and contact poison control, or if I did this right and actually made a delicious slice of pumpkin pie. Well, not a slice. I made the whole pie, but you know what I mean. Oh, I nailed it. Oh, I nailed it. Look at that slice. Taste the crust. Oh, that's good stuff. Let's get our lovely whipped cream back out here. Here we go. We need a lovely dollop right on it there. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at those little peaks, the little peaks. Oh, that's what you want. Whipped cream is delicious. Shocking breaking news. Whipped cream, kind of tasty. But all right, there we go. We have made homemade pumpkin pie and homemade whipped cream completely from scratch, and we have made two wonderfully delicious cocktails to pair with it. Yeah, I think that the only thing left here is to taste this and see how it all turned out. Okay, let's take a slice here. Off the front, dip in that homemade whipped cream. Cheers. Oh my God. That turned out incredible. What the heck? Okay, who knew I could make a pie? And not just a pie, but like a damn tasty one. My God. I feel like I'm normally like a berry pie person or like a brownie type of person, but okay. Forget the fork, we're going in here. We're going in. True pie. Oh yeah. That is a delicious slice of pumpkin pie. I do want to try just the crust because I was curious about how the crust kind of turned out. So here's just the crust. Yeah, that crust tastes like crust. That's pretty damn good. Now, if you happen to try this recipe for yourself at home, make sure you tag me on social media. I'd love to see your guys' attempts and see what you make. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna go eat the rest of my pie. See you guys next time.